Hello, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is the Newshour Special Edition this Saturday evening, and I'm Hina Gambhir. Viewers, an intense campaign for votes is on for two state assemblies, Maharashtra and Jharkhand. And to woo the voters, political parties aren't relying on bread and butter issues of bijli, sadak, pani, law and order, better health and education. In fact, they have unleashed a wave of freebies. In the political landscape, these are called reveries. But unlike the last few elections, there is a difference this time. The freebie formula for winning polls is being questioned, not by rival political outfits, but internally in the parties. Not by ordinary workers, but by leaders as senior as Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. The question is why? Let's cut back to May 2023, Karnataka elections. Mallikarjun Kharge stood with the top leaders of the Congress party to release the state Congress manifesto. It promised 200 units of free power, monthly allowance of 3,000 rupees to unemployed graduates, 1,500 rupees to unemployed diploma holders, and free travel to all women throughout the state in regular KSRTC and BMTC buses. The poll promises definitely help the Congress party to return to power. Now, before that, in 2022, in Himachal Pradesh, the BJP was voted out. The reason was Congress party promised to revive the old pension scheme, paying 1,500 rupees to women and free power. These were the promises that were made. Now, these two victories triggered a free-for-all on freebies. And then came the Lok Sabha 2024 polls. Congress, led by Rahul Gandhi in its Nyay Patra, you would recall that, had promised to provide 1 lakh to the woman in every poor family. Next came the politically catchy Khata, Khat by Rahul Gandhi. Now, Congress party viewers for sure has improved its tally. But then came the reality check. The Himachal Pradesh government is struggling to pay salaries and pensions. In Karnataka, the Congress was in for a rude shock when a few days ago, party president Mallikarjun Kharge, sitting with top Karnataka leaders beside him, dropped a bomb. He rebuked the Karnataka government for mulling to revoke the Shakti scheme, which gives free bus travel for everyone. In a public rap on the knuckles, he had said that guarantee only what you can deliver. Now, given the timing, Prime Minister Narendra Modi seized the opportunity and launched a scathing attack, saying that the Congress party is realizing the hard way that making unreal promises is easy, but implementing them properly is tough or impossible. And now they stand badly exposed in front of the people. Now, responding to this attack, Mr. Kharge posted 7 questions for the BJP, claiming that Modi ki guarantee is a cruel joke on 140 crore Indians. Then even the chief ministers of these states mentioned by the Prime Minister responded. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah said BJP left Karnataka plagued with 40% commission corruption, asserting that it was BJP that empowered corrupt practices, leaving Karnataka debt-ridden. Telangana Chief Minister A. Revanth Reddy has said that during the last 11 months, the Congress government in Telangana has reversed an air of gloom and despair under the previous BRS regime and ended the darkness. Himachal Chief Minister Sukhvinder Singh Sukhu has said that his government delivered at least 5 out of 10 guarantees made during the 2022 Vidhan Sabha elections. So this is the usual BJP versus Congress fight on the promises. But what's significant, viewers, is that there is a Congress versus Congress fight also on the issue of freebies. After Mallikarjun Kharge, Congress MLA R.V. Deshpande has also openly admitted that freebies can be as dangerous as they can be good. So the focus of our debate tonight is on the war over freebies. Are they a political boon and economic curse? But before we deep dive into it, let's take a look at how it all started with Mr. Kharge pulling up DK Shivkumar.
ಬಹಳ ಜನ ನನಗೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಟ್ವೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮಗೆ ದೇವ್ರ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಪೇ ಬಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ತಯಾರಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಆದರೂ ನೀವು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ತಗೋತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಕೆಲವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡೋಣ, ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ವರ್ಗ, ಒಂದು 5% ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು ಆ ರೀತಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಕೆಲವರು ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವು ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವು ರಾಮಲಿಂಗಾರೆಡ್ಡಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಿ? 5. ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ 5 ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು 5 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿನಿ. ಈಗ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದ 5 ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ. ನೀ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಒಂದು ಕೈ ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಿ ಇವತ್ತು. ನೀವು ಓದ್ತಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಪೇಪರ್. ನಾವು ಪೇಪರ್ನಾಗ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ನೋಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಾಗ ಯಾವ್ದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾ ಹೇಳಿದೆ 5, 6, 10, 20 ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ನಿಂಬಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬಜೆಟ್ ಇದೆ ಆ ಬಜೆಟ್ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿಗಳು ಕೊಡಿ.
Whatever we had promised in the country, in the entire, starting from the day of immediate comeback, not even a single program has been taken back. It is just a political gimmick which they have done. I am very sorry. The highest office should not meddle with this type of affairs.
प्रधानमंत्री जी, हमारी गारंटियां हमें याद है. 52,000 करोड़ रुपए खर्च करके 5 में से 5 गारंटी कर्नाटक सरकार ने लागू कर दी. हिमाचल सरकार ने 10 में से 5 गारंटियां, जिसमें ओपीएस शामिल है, लागू कर दी. हमें अपने वादे याद हैं, हमें अपनी गारंटी याद है और आपको बड़ा घबराना चाहिए इस बात से कि हमें आपके वादे भी याद हैं. कहां है 100 स्मार्ट सिटीज? क्या हुआ गंगा मैया का? क्या हुआ महिला सुरक्षा का? क्या हुआ पेट्रोल डीजल का? क्या हुआ रुपए डॉलर का? जवाब दीजिए.
What is the difference between our model? If we say something that we will deliver, we guarantee its delivery. And we are ready to be held accountable. But on the other hand, you are not willing to be held accountable. You can change your position.
Some guarantees, some people, vested interests, are misusing these guarantees. There are ladies who are well off. They have car in their houses, motorcycles, scooters in their houses, and they are utilizing these guarantees. So government, in its wisdom, will have to look into all these things.
So viewers, you heard it's an all-out guarantee versus guarantee war that is playing out in this election season. You heard all the key stakeholders as well. Let's open this up with our guests who are joining us on the broadcast for this debate. We have Shazia Elmi, BJP spokesperson. We have Karan Verma, who is an author, live with us. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, political analyst, also joining us live. And we have with us Brijesh Kalappa, senior advocate, also with us on this debate. Good evening to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now this evening. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, I would like to begin the discussion with you because on one hand, it is BJP versus Congress, which is usual every election season. This time it's on freebies, guarantees, and who's promising what and who is delivering the promises or not. But on the other hand, there's a very interesting Congress versus Congress fight that has also erupted. So you forget right now what the opponents are saying. I want to ask you, is Mr. Kharge right in saying that do not announce if your budget cannot afford it?
No, Hina, good evening first and foremost. The basic point of debate is because of the Khargeji issuing a statement in the context of purported news reports coming from DK Shivkumar SH that the state's finances are being bled because of the freebies. That's absolutely wrong because the data points to a different picture altogether. You must understand, Hina, the Khata model of the Congress is for the Aam Aadmi, whereas the Fatafat model of the BJP is for the Adanis and Ambanis of the country. There is a stark difference to the two. While Congress aims to uplift the working condition or the living condition of the rural poor, of the downtrodden of the society or the lower bottom pyramid of the society, whereas the BJP aims to uplift the corporates and wants to corner the resources of the country in the hands of a select few. There is a difference between what constitutes a merit goods that you say as freebies or what constitute as largesse. You cannot have two different definitions for the same. When Justice N.V. Ramanna said a particular very interesting,
I got your point. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, I got your point. Intention is there as far as the Congress party is concerned. But, you know, I asked you a very direct question. And you are giving me, you know, you're talking about everything else instead of responding to a pointed question that I asked you. You're talking about what Mr. Kharge was speaking about was a purported news report. But I asked you, is Mr. Kharge right in saying that parties should not announce what the budget can't afford? Yes or no? Because that is a fact. He said it.
Yes, absolutely, Hina. The basic point out here, you know, sir, in our multi-party democracy, it is the parties that run the government. You must be well aware of that. When there is a direction to be given to the party, to the government in power, it's always the party which comes out and gives a direction to the party which way the state should run. That is the basic. BJP government is also run by the RSS from Nagpur. So the Congress party is run by the Congress party in Delhi.
Ilmi,
So
going by, you know, what Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary has said, isn't that an acknowledgement that the direction that the parties have been taking in terms of giving freebies has not been right? And that's the reason why, look at what is happening in the state of Himachal Pradesh. Shazia. Shazia, am I audible to you?
Defense that is being put out by my friend, my brother, Kamruzaman ji. Kamruji, it's not about Nagpur and RSS and your visceral hatred. This is pure, simple economics. This is about governance. This is about bribing the voters. This is about pre-budgetary allocations. This is about jurisprudence and fiscal prudence and about planning. It's about planning your expenses. First of all, if you promise just before the elections without having any idea as to how the exchequer will afford it, you will lead to, and you have already led Karnataka on a dangerous path of inflation which exceeds that of the national average. Not just that, if you look at 60,000 crores every year to fulfill 5 of those guarantees that you tom-tommed about and that help you get into power, you just see how it's bleeding the state dry. Not just that, your own chief secretary has gone up to the CM Siddaramaiah ji and said there is nothing else possible with this kind of strain upon us, that we cannot afford to do any developmental work. So there are many reasons. If you look at Himachal, it was very amusing but sad to hear about a toilet tax. But we also heard Mr. Sukhu take back the subsidy on electricity and say that 130 units that we had promised for free will now not be given for free, and they in fact will be paid for by those who pay the taxes. So when you go back and forth and you see Telangana, people are waiting, the farmers are waiting for the loan waiver. This is exactly what Congress promised to Rajasthan the first time when they came around, just before this time, and as well as Madhya Pradesh. And it was not done because it was not financially tenable. So if it's not financially tenable, why do you want to fool and misguide your own voters?
But Karan Verma, Prime Minister mentioned 3 states ruled by the Congress party at this point in time, and the chief ministers of all 3 states have responded as well, and clearly it has become a big issue. It's guarantee versus guarantee war. Who do we believe is the big question? Because Telangana chief minister has also spoken about it. He has said that his administration has achieved what it had promised. In fact, you know, for example, India's largest farm loan waiver scheme and offering LPG cylinders at 500 rupees.
So, Ina, you asked me a question, who do we believe? Let's believe the numbers. Let me give you a case in point of Karnataka. Karnataka, when the BJP left last year, the inflation was 3.27%. Today, it is at a whooping 6.1%, much more than the national average, almost doubled. The price of every single important commodity, whether it be milk, eggs, petrol, diesel, everything has shot up. 1,200 farmers have committed suicide in the last 15 months. The capex budget, which is the budget spent on infrastructure, has gone down by 28%. Last year it was 77,000 crores. This year it is 55,000 crores. Can you imagine, for a growing economy to spend 28% less on infrastructure? That is where we are. The debt today is 5.5 lakh crores. So Karnataka is a mess. They've hired agencies like Deloitte, like Ernst & Young for asset monetization. They've given the report that you have to monetize your assets in order to pay for your bills. Shazia ji rightly pointed out about Himachal. So this Khata model is imploding. You cannot spend 54,000 crores per year to sustain promises, where on the other hand, you are piling on an inflation to the people and they are suffering and reeling under pressure. Businesses are shutting.
Okay.
So this is where they stand right now. As for freebies and welfareism...
Brijesh Kalamba, how will you like to respond? You've heard the arguments from both the sides, and what Karan Verma was also saying, he was talking about the numbers. Numbers don't lie. My question is simple. Do you think now this, in a way, has become some kind of a formula to win elections? Because it has yielded results in the past. Keep on promising freebies, keep on promising direct cash. You'll win the election, uske baad to dekha jayega. I mean, who cares after that? And then, if required, we'll take desperate measures, something that we are already seeing in Himachal Pradesh. This short-term gain, long-term pain, is it something that we are witnessing right now as far as states are concerned and political parties are concerned?
I'm glad you said, Hina, that one of the guests had mentioned some figures and you like figures, and figures don't lie. So let's look at the figures in regard to tax devolution. Do you know, or do your viewers know, that for the entirety of the south of India, we receive less in terms of tax devolution than one state alone, and that is Uttar Pradesh? The figures in regard to Uttar Pradesh are 31,893 crore. While for the entire south, it's 28,152. Entire south, that is 5 states. So therefore, the point is that the BJP obviously does not want to give anything to the south because they have no presence here. Of course, one will say that, there are members of parliament. That's a different matter. Point is that there are no state governments which are run by the BJP. So this is the whole game plan. That the game plan is to squeeze the opposition states of funds, and then to say that, look, they have no funds. When a very senior chief minister like Mr. Siddaramaiah, who is presenting almost his 15th budget, he doesn't know what, how much it's going to cost him. He's not going to put his reputation at stake. Of course, he knows clearly what he's doing. He knows how much these things cost. But ultimately, where does all this money which has gone now, for instance, the head of every family, that is a woman, she receives 2,000 rupees. So where does she spend this money? She spends this money for her needs. Where does it all go? It comes back to the state exchequer. It comes back to the system.
I want to come back on
when
this.
she travels by bus and she's traveling for free, she's able to save
Yes,
money.
Shazia, 1 second. Let him quickly finish his point. Yes.
She gets free electricity. Then also the fact that, there is this additional 10 kilos of rice which is given to her. So basically, even if she has a drunkard at home, she is able to survive and she is able to educate her children. So this is the idea behind this scheme.
No,
right?
Nobody is questioning the intent. Nobody is questioning your ideas. The only point that I'm making here is what Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who is the president of the Congress party, has also said that, keep an eye on the budget also when you're making promises. So I'm just referring to what he said. And Shazia Elmi wanted to respond. Then I'll come back to you.
Shazia Elmi, he must give some words of wisdom from time to time. Because
sir, you tried very hard to make it about...
Brijesh Kalapa, 1 second, you've made your point, Brijesh Kalapa. Let others also respond now. Shazia Elmi, go ahead.
Vijayji, we heard you. Vijayji, we heard you, and you tried to sell this soppy story about what victimization is being done by the Central Finance Ministry to the southern states, and how budgets are being not allocated as proportionate to what they deserve. Let me correct you, sir, and let me remind you as to what happened when Siddaramaiah came to Delhi and did this Chalo Delhi Jantar Mantar Yatra. And I will just give you the figures which Nirmala Sitharaman mentioned and talked about the separatist mindset, which is exactly what is being revealed by you in the way you are speaking. That the amount of money that has been given, there has never ever been any kind of discrimination, and so much so that these claims have come from a separatist mindset. This is what she said. And Sitharaman also said very clearly that because of the financial burden of not 52,000 as Karan said, and as I said 60,000, it is actually correct figure is 58,000 because this is given by the Finance Ministry, that the recommendation did not form part of the final report of the 15th Finance Commission. 15th Finance Commission, whereas the centre, however, has provided 6,279.94 crores as an interest-free loan for 50 years through the state. The finance minister has also asserted and said, and this is not for the first time, that the devolution of taxes and grants to Karnataka and all other states have been done in line with the Finance Commission award with no discrimination whatsoever. And during the 14th Finance Commission, and I can give you details, so all that is there. It was also raised in the parliament. It was also answered.
So BJP says there is no discrimination as far as the states are concerned, whether they are BJP ruled or non-BJP ruled states. Kamruzaman Chaudhary wants to respond to what Shazia Almi has said, then Karan Verma. Yes, Kamruzaman Chaudhary.
Basically, Hina, I wanted to point out here, the opposition has got its own agenda of how to uplift the conditions of the poor. It does not necessarily mean that it has to be in line with what Narendra Modi and his government thinks. After 2016 Notebandi, 20,000 crores were wasted in printing new notes for the country.
Kamruzaman Chaudhary, you made a very relevant point. Mr. Chaudhary, you made a very relevant point that, you know, you've got a very interesting agenda. But the point here is not BJP versus Congress. The point here is Congress versus Congress. I am talking about something that Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who is the president of the Congress party, who has said. So do you disagree with him? Is my question to you again.
And listen, the chief executive of the state is the state chief ministers, and according to them, the freebie scheme that you call has improved the lives of the people or not. The data never lies. For example, in Karnataka, the net state domestic product is 3,33,000 crores, and that is an all-time high. In Himachal Pradesh, the per capita GDP is 2,35,000, 50,000 higher than the national average. The GDP to the debt to GDP ratio, let's say the worst managed state, the Himachal Pradesh, is 42%. And do you know what is the national average of India? We are into a debt trap. The Indian government is in a debt trap. Nobody wants to speak about that.
Nobody is talking about the promises that the centre has made, a charge that was heard by Mr. Kharge as well. Karan Verma, Shazia Almi, please respond to what Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary has said, because, you know, the same points have been raised by Mr. Kharge as well in a long post after the fierce attack that came from Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier. Karan, up to you first and then Shazia Almi, very, very quickly, please.
Okay. So first of all, I'll give some figures. The tax devolution to Karnataka, Brijesh ji also raised it, from 2014 to 24 is 2.82 lakh crores, which is 258% increase from what was given from 2004 to 2014. 2004 to 2014, only 61,000 crores were given. So that's point number one. Brijesh ji is a very senior person and I have a lot of respect for him. Even if I buy his argument, even if he says that, you know, we've not been treated well and all, what will it account for? It will account for not more than 15 to 20,000 crores. Here we are looking at a debt of 5.5 lakh crores. We've just added 75,000 crores this year itself. So, you know, don't try to change the goalposts. The truth is, Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation is suffering today. You cannot have a model, Mr. Kamruzaman, where you are hiring agencies today and they are telling you have to sell your assets to monetize because you cannot pay your salary.
So is this the reason, Mr. Brijesh Kalappa, that forced Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge to, you know, spread that word of caution before Maharashtra elections? Mr. Brijesh Kalappa.
Yeah, see, Hina, the point is this. I've heard both Shazia ji and Mr. Tandon. Point is this, that as far as the government of BJP in Gujarat is concerned, what is the indebtedness? What is the indebtedness? Is it far more or far less than Karnataka? It's of course far more. Why is it far more? They are not giving any freebies. Why is it far more? It's nearly 5 lakh crore. That is the indebtedness. And what is the indebtedness of Karnataka? So, approximately 2.5 to 3 lakh crore. So if they are not doing any freebies, if they are not giving any freebies to people, if they are not looking at the welfareism of the people, why are they in such great debt? Who are they ultimately helping out? Is it the Adanis or the Ambanis? And these are very relevant questions. Point is this, that if one helps the poorest of the poor, then one is criticized.
Shazia, please respond. The charge is that you have a huge debt in BJP-ruled states, especially like Gujarat, because you're helping, the big corporates. On the other hand, parties which are, the states which are ruled by Congress, for example, Karnataka, have got a huge debt because they are only, giving freebies for the upliftment of the poor, which is very good. This is the charge. How will you like to respond?
I mean, the goalpost keeps changing. Just as quickly as facts are presented, and both Vijayji and Kamruzaman know that they're skating on thin ice. Again, I would like to tell Vijayji, and I say it with all deference, that, sir, where Karnataka government has actually projected a massive false claim of GST, compensation dues, whereas there was none whatsoever, and that the centre is given 1,06,258 crores to the state. No amount is due to Karnataka. This has been made clear. Yet, because you have mismanaged your finances, because in Himachal finances have been mismanaged, because in Telangana false promises have been made of loan waivers, because you have no idea as to how to do any kind of governance, you have no idea as to how to do any pre-allocation, and because there's a misreading and a need to just do the Khata kind of politics that we saw Rahul Gandhi do, 6,000 every month. This is why it's happening. Please don't blame the centre. And you have a good point. Then why would there be dues accrued to UP? Because if it's doing everything fine. And those are serious issues to be discussed. Right. But right now,
I have very less time left. I would like to give equal opportunity to all my guests. Quick closing comments. Karan Verma, then Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Very, very quickly. 10 seconds each, please.
Brijesh ji completely misquoted the facts. So I have to tell your viewers that debt in Karnataka is 5.5 lakh crores and in Gujarat it is 3.37 lakh crores. In Gujarat the debt to GDP is 15%. In Karnataka the debt to GDP is 24%. So we don't expect Brijesh ji to misquote figures like this, but your viewers need to know Gujarat is much lower than Karnataka in terms of debt.
That was the reason I asked. Who do we believe? Because everybody quotes the numbers that suits that side.
I'm confident of the figures I have given. I'm confident of the figures I have given, right? And of course, you can have a separate debate with regard to these figures alone. And I'll be very happy to participate in that.
Okay. Last closing comments, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, then I'll have to wind up this debate.
Gujarat indebtedness is far higher than Karnataka's.
No, it is not.
Neha, in the sum total, let me just tell you, all the governments, whether it be the Bharatiya Janata Party or the Congress government, has a duty as a welfare state of India to uplift the condition of the rural poor and the downtrodden of the country. There is no doubt about it. Whether your policy is better than mine policy is a question of debate. But the fact remains, when the central government gives a PLI of around 2 lakh crores to the corporates, the small schemes, the welfare schemes which is benefiting the rural poor and the urban poor of the country and the downtrodden, then I think there needs to be a further bigger debate on whose scheme is better for the coming. Because if Congress has started some scheme, so also BJP has started its Latki Bahin or the Ladli Bahina scheme in Madhya Pradesh on the same lines that the Congress government has supported and started. So my scheme is better than your scheme is just a jumla, and you Google it. One is Feku and the other one is the Jumla. You get the picture of the person who is the biggest Jumla Baj of the country.
Well, that's exactly the reason when I started this debate, I said it's a guarantee versus guarantee war that has now erupted. And with just few more days to go for the big elections in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, it is just going to increase. It's going to get more and more aggressive in the days to come. I would like to thank my guests for joining us, Shazia Elmi, Karan Verma, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, Brijesh Kalappa, for joining us on this debate.